Hello and welcome to another video looking at some older figures that were released a while ago. Today we have Sand Person, Sand People, Tusken Raider, Imperial Royal Guard, and of course the real child of Han Solo, Jaina. Solo says Legends, but you know, that's my canon. Not that I actually haven't read any books with containing her, but it's still a pretty cool figure to have. By the way, I also did see the the gaming battle droid commando figure, the blue stormtrooper, the stripes, as well as Commander Bly. Those were all selling for 270 Hong Kong dollars at Inns Point, second floor, around the back. The shop unit that sells all the Hasbro stuffs, and that's also where I picked up all the DC TV figures as well for like 99 Hong Kong dollars each. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, at first I was like, yeah, I'm going to pick up that, definitely want to pick up that Imperial Guard, because while I did pre-order the Emperor Palpatine with his chair and the two Imperial Guard as his figure arts, the Imperial Guards are not figures, those are statues. So I was like, I'm going to get at least one or two Black Series Imperial Guards to, you know, actually have the posable one. Plus I thought, you know, if the robe and stuff, it covers up all the ugly joints that I don't like from the older Black Series figures, it should be okay. But you know what, and yeah, it is for the most part, but I do have problems with that figure right here. So yeah. In terms of height, the Tusken Raider there is just on above 15 centimeters and just under 16 for the Imperial Guard, and she is 14.5 centimeters tall. She comes with a blaster rifle, which not like Han Solo's, a little bit different. She has a purple lightsaber. The hilt is pretty awesome, very different design from what we regularly see from other Jedi. Maybe a big hook on the end so you can hook it onto something. Yep, she has a bit on her belt on her left hand side, and also a pretty cool helmet, a black Rebel helmet, pretty nice printing on the side, the top effects, yellow and stuff. And yeah, I know Poe Dameron has a black one as well, but this one's cooler, just has nicer colors. Another dig at the Disney Star Wars. And it fits on there quite well because it's just made out of a soft-ish plastic all around, so it fits over quite well. For the figure itself, yeah, she's designed her. She's got Harrison Ford's cheekbones, I guess. And you know what? She looks like Kylo Ren if Kylo Ren took hormones and decided to become a woman, kinda, but better. A little bit resemblance there. But maybe that's why they picked Madam Driver, because he has like the same cheeks as Harrison Ford. A little bit of paint issue on her eyebrow there, but otherwise, yeah, looks decent enough. The overall black design on the pilot suit is pretty awesome as well. A lot of belts and straps, just like the other regular pilots, and all those soft plastic, and do get out of the way when you want to do different poses for her, except for this middle one. This one will drag a little bit, but don't be too worried, as it has a lot of leeway. So everything just looks a little bit on the loose side, but that's just to make sure they don't break, and I'm totally fine with that. The little yellow highlights on the suit are also pretty good. Same as on the back as well. In terms of articulation, she's got well, she can rotate her head. You look up a little bit and look down a little bit, that's it really. Hair is soft plastic and does get out the way for the most part. Elbows shoulders go up, full rotation there. Let's see, that's a single joint, but that's a really good single joint with rotating joint there. Hand is on a peg and swivel. Torso is on board joint at the top, and also a stomach joint there with an extra hinge, so she can really like do a proper setup. So if you do have an X-Wing or any kind of ship, you can put her in there quite easily. And yeah, she's very posable. That's really cool. And I don't tend to like these joints where they cut it and give a hinge there, but for the most part, because it's black plastic and for all this other extra stuff hiding it, I'm okay with it. It's hidden, so that's nice. And yeah, it really gives her a lot of articulation. Same goes to this underwear area as well. That's hidden quite well with all the extra stuff there. I also noticed that she has a belt that's very similar to Han Solo. That's cool. Up, back. She can do the splits, I swear. I just need to see, move these straps up, and so that you can do the splits almost. Rotating joint here. Double knee joint. Does look a bit weird on certain angles, and foot is on a peg and swivel. And is there a rotating joint there? No. Rotating joint here? No. But overall, just especially right after I filmed the video of all those DC figures, yeah, this is very articulated. Our Tusken Raider, who has his classic rifle that we saw in episode 1 Phantom Menace and also carrying it around in A New Hope. It's painted quite well. It's soft-ish plastic, but it will snap if you bend it too much. And the overall paint quality on this is pretty good. He also has one end of his gaffy stick with a little needle on the end. Reminds me of like a bee's sting. But on the other end, you can actually customize it. You have 3 different tips, which is a surprising amount of accessories for a Tusken Raider. I'm just saying. Some heroes don't have as many accessories. So you got this brown bit, stingy bit, and a silver bit. So just to make it stand out a bit more, I'm going to plug in the silver one, just so it has nice contrast with that. For the figure itself, the head sculpt is pretty awesome, and it's washed, and coloring is also pretty good as well. He's got this little pipe there just underneath his head, so that's kind of cool. That's yeah, this looks really good. The body, the straps there, all painted quite nicely, and the robes there, it does have a cut split, which is fine, I guess, for the most part, because the actual fabric robe will cover it, I suppose. But that looks kind of cool, and he does have dirtied up legs, as he should. Oh, back detailing there, that's mostly hidden, but it's cool that it's there. And in theory, you could take this robe off, pop his head off, and you should be able to there's a lot of, yeah, no, the rope goes through that. I think this bit's glued down, so you're gonna have to unglue bits here and there to take the rope off. If you you know, move this all up, you can see that there's, you know, proper molding and I think painting on the figure as well. So if this falls apart completely, you still have a decent looking Tusken Raider figure underneath all that fabric. Head looks ever so slightly down, not really. Looks quite far up, and full rotation there. And let's see, the arms goes up. That's cool. There's a bit of a stitching there to hold it in place, so that's kind of nice. Up rotating there. Oh, that's really loose for some reason. Elbow joint and full rotating there, and hands on a peg and swivel, just like other figures. Torso goes back a bit, forward a bit, and this joint's really well hidden due to that belt being in the place. But that's cool. So we're going to do a little bit of articulation there, and that's pretty good. And let's see, legs again. Well, this, despite being soft plastic, it will still get in the way and push back. So, but this seems to be doing okay, doing walking pose. So, well, definitely splits there, and double knee joint and foot is on a peg and swivel. So yeah, pretty decent Tusken Raider figure. Really look forward to the Ewoks and Akbar, by the way. Finally, we've our Imperial guard, who has that weird stick thing that he's holding. That's not a lightsaber, but whatever. It's again, this will snap if you push it too much. It's not really a soft material, so be careful of that. The detailing on it is quite nice, so you got some little spiky bits on the end there, and yeah, overall pretty decent painting. And you have this dinky little scout trooper pistol. That's pathetic. So yeah, the head looks great. And of course the robes look great too, proper fabric and stuff, and it drops very nicely for the most part, very naturally. I am considering, like, if you can pop this head off quite easily and just take this off. I'm considering, like, if I stitch just a little bit, like around there like that, I can add a wire to it, and that'll be really cool. If I add a wire to it, so yeah. Underneath the head you have all of this proper armor, which they could have easily skipped on, but they didn't, so I appreciate that. This proper armor, if you've read the Crimson Empire comic book, which I read a long time ago, you know exactly what this is like. And you know, they could easily re-release this with slightly different colors, like this dark ruby red. Just replace that with black, and they could easily release a second figure, and you know, maybe add an extra head sculpt for the comic book character, and rename it Legends or something. So that's overall really cool. Got some full strap details there, back armor. So overall not too much painting underneath here, because it is the design of the actual suit, that's fine. But what I really had a problem with is, I had noticed that this foot is replaced with a different joint. This is one of those frame arm joints that I keep mentioning that I use for customizing and fixing fig arts and stuff. Fortunately, the peg here is almost the same size as this. I added a little bit of super glue on the end just to thicken it, and after it dried, I plugged the foot on and it doesn't fall off. But I'll say this right now, why did I have to do that? It's because whatever process they do, which is an odd one to say the least. So what they do is first they mold this ring joint for the foot. Okay, that's fine. And the way they do it is they actually mold the lower leg plastic over this joint so it becomes a single piece. So how does this, I guess whatever they do, they make sure that the peg or the round thing doesn't mold or melt into the rest of the plastic that they do that, but for whatever reason, this thing was inside his foot on a 45-degree angle. Like it was, instead of being in there like that, it was like that. And you see a bit of plastic missing there too. And so on this side is very thin. It was just molded incorrectly. So I had essentially a non-working foot. So I just replaced the joint, and that's just annoying. I guess I'll paint that red eventually, but I'm not too bothered because again, this robe does cover it for the most part, and I'm fine with it for now. For now, I eventually just customize it. But that's really irritating. So that could happen. I wonder if anyone else has ever had that problem with a Black Series as well. And that also makes me think that that might have been the same problem I had with the Ahsoka figure, because her head just wouldn't move until I cut a bit of plastic off. So yeah, whatever. So anyway, in terms of articulation, he doesn't have a ball joint for the head, but due to the helmet shape, he's not really going to move it a lot. I mean, it's a little bit. So, but you can easily remove the helmet and, like I said, add another head to it, and it'd work. So shoulders, full rotation there. Single elbow joint, full rotation there. Peg and swivel for the hand. This one is swiveling up and down for this hand. This hand is also up and down. That's cool. I guess ball joint for the upper torso there, but not too much articulation. It's a bit limited. Let's see, is there a lower joint for the lower stomach? No. Foot goes up, back, a little bit sideways. Double knee joint, and foot is just on a peg and swivel. So no rotating for the lower leg, which this foot does, because I changed the joint for it. Hooray for me, I guess. Ugh. Overall, these are pretty decent figures. I definitely appreciate the actual body sculpt and all the different articulations that you can do with the Imperial Guard. Minus that one production error, I think overall it is a pretty decent figure. Tusken Raider as well, there's a lot of good stuff to it. Surprising amount of accessories, and the overall look of it is pretty nice. And I also appreciate if the robes do like fall apart, the figure underneath is still pretty good. The highlight, of course, is the Legends figure here. She looks great again, tough in the eyebrow print job. The overall paintwork's pretty good, articulation's pretty good, and the sculpt detailing is also quite nice as well. And I also like how most of the joints that I would complain about is overall pretty hidden with all her extra gear and the coloring of the suit. If this was like a white suit character and there were less straps, I'll definitely be a bit more annoyed. And comparing her to something like Bossk, who's essentially just a Rebels pilot's torso, her articulation is definitely better and way more agile than someone like Bossk, or maybe some of the earlier Rebel pilot figures. She was released a little bit down the line with the Black Series, and thank God for that. If she's one of the earlier releases, she'd probably suffer a lot more issues with her figure as well. As for her face, she's definitely got like that Han Solo-ish look to her, as well as a bit of a Kylo Ren vibe. So despite not having an actual actress or whatever to base her on, I guess just comic book art and book covers, which I guess those would be probably based on real people, maybe, she overall looks quite lifelike and quite realistic for the most part. So yeah, it looks pretty good. If you enjoyed this video, definitely click the thumbs up. If you hated these video and these figures, click the thumbs down, whatever. Leave a comment on any of these figures that you think about, and if you're going to pick up any of the newer Black Series figures that are coming out. Like I said, I am looking forward to Akbar and the Ewok, and not sure why they wouldn't release like Wicked first. Whatever. And Star Wars figure wise, I have pre-ordered the shiny upgraded Mandalorian figure arts, as well as the Baby Yoda figure arts, and I also pre-ordered the Black Series Baby Yoda, but I don't know if I'm going to be getting that in time due to, you know, the events of the world right now. So I will say this, I prefer the expression, the eyes on the Black Series Baby Yoda, but with the extra accessories, as well as the using the Force Eyes Closed head with the figure arts, that's definitely a win there. So overall, if you want to support this channel more and check out the more proper reviews than these casual ones, definitely subscribe if you haven't done so already, and you can also support this channel by watching videos ad block turned off, or heading over to Patreon, supporting it that way as well. As always, take care, have a nice day, and of course stay healthy, and may the Force be with you. Bye bye.